Well, recently today for North America, that the Sega Dreamcast is now becoming 22 years old, at least in America, like I said earlier. So, hey, what's up ladies and gentlemen, it is I am the one and only Mighty the Armadillo here, and I'm back for some more of yet again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Wario Land 3 for the Game Boy Color. So last time we basically just managed to collect about, once again, another 14 treasures so far. That pretty much leads us to 28 treasures out of 100. So today for this episode in particular is the fact that we're hopefully gonna get some more treasures by simply going back into the previous levels, starting with the big bridge once again. And this is gonna be the third time playing for this stage, and because of that though, hopefully we should probably aim for the next treasure. So because of that, now we can able to actually just to finally trying to able to pick up certain things, including the barrel, as you can see. So that way we can able to actually just do some, what else? Some lot of exploration. So because of that though, and as I said before, you can also just manage to pick up enemies with, so either way though, that will be a little bit more relative at this point, especially noticeable how the fact that, oh gosh, we have to do with that golf segment again, aren't we? So of course we're going to be going for the green key route, so hopefully we would be able to actually just to find the green key. I think the green key is actually somewhere nearby, although first things first though, we're able to actually just to deal with the actual the golf section first. And yeah, as you notice, that the coins price is actually increased up a little bit, ranging from, well, you start the thing up by normally 10 coins, but then later on it increases by 30, so, and eventually 50, so because of that though, yeah, it might be a bit too pricey from the specific points worth noting for. But, I mean, let's face it though, it's just the fact that it gets a little bit more, well, outrageous at times. And especially notable that I'm still stuck at the forms of those golf sections just because, again, it's just the fact the matter is though, I'm just being so rushed up at that point, so, but it knows what it stands out to be. So, anyways, let's go ahead and, oh, that's actually an okay shot for the most part. Well, aside from the fact that we need to do a bit of a gentle, power, so I think that'll pretty much be okay from here. And basically just have to able to make our way from here. So hopefully we would, oh, we somehow made it, but now we need to hopefully gonna make it to the actual hole itself. There we go. Second attempt as to be expected, so top notch. And that way we can now able to actually access to the green chest, but before we grab the green treasure, we need to able to still obtain the key. And I believe the key was actually somewhere in, well, not in here, but I get the horrible feeling about the fact that I have to backtrack for a bit. So, yeah, I might as well able to get the feeling for the sake of time, so yeah, I still need able to try to explore certain portions of this particular whole level, as you probably already know. So, yeah, you probably get the idea. So, yeah, today's date is, of course, the 9th of September today, in this case in 2021, today. And as I mentioned this before already, that the Sega Dreamcast for North America's release is now 22 years old, along the same lines as Sonic Adventure on the Americans release, and also some other familiar Dreamcast games you know as well. Despite the fact that I haven't bought that much Dreamcast games, just because of the forms of the random resetting issue, as what most people seem to have, you know, the actual common problem with it, with the actual system itself. But yeah, you probably expect it by that point. So anyways, now we've finally managed to found the green key, so I'm pretty sure we'll leave this room and trying to swim back into the actual, the previous section, and hopefully we would be able to actually, just to clarify, to able to actually go back into the green treasure room, and hopefully we would able to actually just to get ourselves our next glorious item, if it's either like mandatory, or if it's going to be one of those power-ups that we can able to obtain, or simply just does do nothing at all. So, in this case, in this treasure, we got ourselves a bit of a Game Boy of any sorts, which I'm not exactly sure what that usually represented with, but it knows what it stands out to be. So of course this absolutely does nothing at all, so I guess that's something, I suppose. But then again, I'm gonna go for 100% completion, much like the forms of Wario Land, Super Mario Land 3, and especially noticeable with the forms of Virtual Boy Wario Land, and even Wario World, and heck, even with the forms of Wario Land 2. So, yeah, as far as the forms of the future Wario Land Let's Plays are concerned, ranging from the forms of, well, generally speaking, that we've only got about, well, after we're done with this game, specifically Wario Land 3, then we can pretty much move on to the next Wario platformers, like ranging from Wario Land 4, and especially noticeable for Wario Master of Disguise for the DS, and eventually, at the very end, for Wario Land, the Shake Dimension. So because of that, hopefully we still got plenty of time left until we're able to actually get around to those games potentially. So, while the same lines as well how the fact that usually some toy sales are still carry on playing, you know, Banjo-Tooie. So in this case though, one of the longest Let's Plays we could possibly try to tackle through. So, yeah, you probably get the idea about that. So, and also, it's the fact that tomorrow, after this video is going to release, is that WarioWare Get It Together for the Nintendo Switch is going to be releasing tomorrow. So I'm really looking forward to that, especially noticeable that, usually it is a good thing I did manage to able to go back into the previous Wario Land game, or the WarioWare game I should say, which is, of course, you know, Minigame Mania, aka Mega Micro Games on the Game Boy Advance, and as a result, that I'm super looking forward to this next installment. And I'm really hoping that we can able to try out some new micro games. I'm really hoping that we can able to play new micro games as opposed to the actual compilation game, unlike the ones and how it does it in, well, generally speaking, for Mega Party games for the GameCube, and as well as than that, basically with WarioWare Gold for the 3DS. So that might be pretty much summarized as such. So anyway, so oh boy, this is going to be one of those trickier segments, is that basically we need to carry this rock in order able to actually break those specific little blocks. Although before we deal with all that stuff though, we need to get rid of these little ice teddy bears before we're able to actually just to do and go ahead and well, do the usual thing or what have you. So yeah, you probably get the actual suggestion by that point. So anyways, let's just go ahead and continue on, and hopefully we'll try this little part again. So hopefully we would be able to actually just to proceed without even getting any mistakes. Especially noticeable how the ice physics do apply here. And oh, darn it! Why did this always happen to me? Although, kind of think about it, is there anything else from up there? Although, I'm pretty sure it might actually just lead me to nowhere, so what's the point of exploring there? So, yeah, there's gonna be a lot of emphasis on trial and error sometimes when it comes to, like, doing all sorts of stuff like this. And also, that one thing I forgot to mention about this, ever since the very beginning of this Let's Play, that I said this before, that you can still collect coins. However though, unlike in Wario Land 2, that it does manage to show you the coin counter. Whilst in here though, it doesn't show you the coin counter during gameplay, but more accurately, if you try to pause the game, it actually shows you the actual, the coins counter that you've actually got to obtain for. So, yeah, that's as far as I can usually try to describe it. So, and I believe this is where we stumbled across the forms of that particular segment, where we're gonna have to force the able to transform into ourselves into, well, let's say, a new transformation of any sort, which appears to be, well, first things first though, there we go. So, in this case, we have Snowball Wario, and basically, if you manage to get covered up within a snowball formation, and because of that though, you need to find yourselves a bit of a slant going on here, and because of that though, once you do, oh, wait a second, we do need able to actually get the snowball a little bit more bigger. So because of that, how can we do that? Well, turns out though, we need able to break that little particular breakable wall by only be utilizing the actual snowball. So because of that, we need to do just that and let it roll, and that way we can able to actually progress. So yeah, everything else goes all fine and dandy and everything, and then you might as well do it again, but on the other side. So, yeah, that's as far as you can say about this particular level in mind. So, anyways, let's go and slide all the way down. There's a music coin down up there, but again, we'll save that until, you know, the next few videos in the future. So, there we go. We got ourselves the red treasure chest. That way we can able to get ourselves our next item. And this appears to be like a kettle, so yeah, to be more specifically, the yellow kettle. So yeah, that seems kind of obvious to make it a little bit of a match-up color from the likes of Wario's overalls. The only exception being about the fact that, well, Wario's missing the actual purple overalls, which will become stable until Wario Land 4 and onwards. So, anyways, let's head over back into the tidal coast again, in the forms of nighttime again. So because of that though, hopefully we can now do some more things, thanks to the forms of picking up enemies, and able to actually use them as projectiles, just like the forms of previously. So, yeah, there's not much else to tell for this point, aside from the fact that, well, I still haven't, you know, got the forms of the high jump ability or anything else to be more specific though, but, oh, there's a red key over there, so that might be a good coincidence by able to go after it. But of course, we do need to avoid those bubbles, so that we need to able to go ahead and make our way to able to break these particular blocks, these breakable blocks over there. Oh, and by the way, much like in Wario Land 2, though, that basically that you would able to once again get trapped by the you know what I mean, for those little bubbles that you can able to take control of, even for Bubble Wario as a matter of fact. So, yeah, everything else remains the same thing as the forms of how it does it previously. So, yeah, there's not much else to tell. So, anyway, oh, there's a red coin. I think I might as well try to fetch it. There we go. So, I think that all comes together and pretty nicely too. So, anyways, let's go ahead and, well, hop into this little bubble thingy or what have you, and we'll have to make sure if we're able to actually get ourselves the, of course, the red key, so hopefully we would obtain that, and of course we still need to able to go and navigate it to, you know, trying to avoid those little bubbles coming out of these little holes and stuff like that. So, yeah, it might actually be self-explanatory if you managed to play Wario Land 2 before, so there's not much else to say, aside from that, you know, the Dreamcast release for, American release is now 22 years old, and then until by that time, until next month, in Europe, that, the Dreamcast release in Europe will also become 22 years old, even though generally it already did, for the sake of the Japan's release, but it wasn't until in, December, in, specifically this year, that, the Sega Dreamcast will become 23 years old, and that could be also applies to the original Mario Party game on the Japanese release. So, yeah, that's pretty much as far as you expect when it comes to likely releasing certain things. And also during around that time as well, that I believe we've only got about 8 days to go until one of these episodes from My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, specifically in Season 2, The Return of Harmony Part 1, that particular episode until next week will become a decade old. So, yeah, I have no idea that the time itself just went flying by all of a sudden. So, yeah, you probably get the gist of it. So, anyway, so now we can able to actually access to more sections from the likes of the volcano's base, and especially noticeable with this steep canyon, and to top it all off, that we can able to actually try to go ahead and well, do some more things between these 3 levels. So, in fact, no matter what though, what level should I do first? Tell you what though, we'll try to wrap things up with the volcano's base first, and then after we're done with that, well, assuming if there's a music coins I can able to possibly grab, but it might take a bit while to able to actually just try to deal with this for this video. So, because again, I'll save that until likely for the finale portions of, you know, Wario Land 3. I almost say Pac-Man World 3 for some reason, because, you know, for whatever reason, that we keep on thinking of playing Pac-Man World 3 for whatever reason, despite the fact that Mercy already did tackle for that game, ever since at the very end of July. So, that must have been almost like 2 months ago. So, anyway though, so let's just go ahead and once again avoid many of those bubbles, and because of that, you know, very similar to the forms of how it does it in the Tidal Coast level, that basically we still need to able to bust out these blocks from above, and basically just take a ride on that particular bubble, and every once in a while we get ourselves the blue key. So, top notch, and I think that should be about it. So, pretty easy and self-explanatory level, and of course we do need to able to go and take a long route to able to actually just to go all the way back up. So, sometimes you do need to able to take a longer routes to take, especially noticeable if you really desperately want to finish the level completely, then chances are though you get out to able to take a longer routes to take. So, oh well, no big deal, but at least at the very least that we could potentially try to able to, like, you know, finish the actual, the main world, like, you know, the volcano's, base and stuff like that. So, but, you know, you get the idea about that. Here's a new transformation that is actually introduced in this game, which appears to be Vampire Wario. And basically what this does is that if you dare touch those vampires as you saw, basically we do have a chance you can either just become like a Dracula, or you can able to actually transform into the actual vampire itself. However, here's the thing though, it's the fact that the only thing you do need to avoid is water, especially noticeable with these little drips coming from above from the ceiling. And also to top it off, in certain levels, does manage to able to retain the actual brightness light, or brightness light as far as I'm aware. So yeah, you're gonna have to able to be sure you have to avoid a lot of stuff, especially noticeable that if you made a mistake, then you have to backtrack for a bit and then just try to able to hopefully God forbid just try again. So but you know, you get the idea about that. So yeah, that seems kind of obvious. So, and somehow we made it back all the way to almost at the beginning of the level, but now we can able to actually just try to find the blue chest now, so it's not too far, I don't think. So well, despite the fact that I just keep on bumping into those specific enemies, or just keep on getting ourselves a knockback by the forms of that particular a very simple enemy to deal with, but you know what I mean. Alright, so in that chest, we get ourselves this particular, well, I don't know what you call this thing, but it knows what it used to be, so. And of course, that treasure doesn't do anything at all, so, well, you know what I'm saying. So anyways, let's move on to, let's do, the Steep Canyon next. But this time around, we're going to be doing this stage in nighttime, as opposed to in daytime, so. Which is kind of cool, because usually between both Mario Party 6 and this game is the fact that we actually tackling through both of those games that utilizes day and night system. So yeah, that seems kind of cool. The only exception being the forms of Sonic Unleashed, because obviously we've already did tackle for that game both versions of the game, ranging from the SD version, standard edition, or standard definition, to be more specifically the Wii/PlayStation 2, and the HD version, which is the PlayStation 3 or the Xbox 360 versions. So, or in this case in particular though, every now and then for Xbox Series X or Xbox One, and especially noticeable with the forms of, well, unfortunately though, no re-releases on the PS4 or PS5 versions essentially, which is kind of sucks if you ask me, especially noticeable about the fact that, well, everyone might actually, I felt incredibly bad for some people who didn't get a chance to play Sonic Unleashed for the PlayStation 3 or in the PlayStation family of consoles for that time. And then basically though, it's just the fact that they're really hoping that they're able to remastered Sonic Unleashed on the PlayStation family of consoles from the likes of PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5. But unfortunately though, we still haven't got any luck to it at all. Well, mind you, that we've already got Sonic Colors Ultimate recently, so if you guys want to check that out on our unboxing video for that, then you can probably check it out if you can. So, because obviously I'm actually involved on that, along with Ray the Flying Squirrel, as well as the rest of the Sonic gang, along with the forms of Sticks the Badger from the Sonic Boom TV series, as a matter of fact. So, but you know, you get the gist of it, so. Alright, this section can be kind of tricky though, because you have to rely on the forms of the Puff Wario, as you can see, because most of the time, that if you don't have enough room for it though, can you go down please? Please? Because I really want to get that red treasure chest and get it over with, but unfortunately though, I'm essentially deadlocked, so done it all. Done it all, programmers, by able to actually making some portions deadlocked, but oh well, we'll try again, so. Because sometimes it might take a bit of time though, for able to try to go ahead and get past by these little segments right there, so. At least we got left off for the sake of that segment here, so this is not good. This is definitely not good. But at the very least we'll just do that. Come on, go down. Go down. Get me. Just get me, god damn it. Come on. Okay, there we go. That took a bit of a while to able to actually just to make it from here. Although, you can potentially try to able to make it normally by jumping straight for the spike balls, but it will not work like that. So you have to able to like, just trying to make it become like a buffed up Wario or anything else to be more specific, so... Oh well, no big deal. But at least we got ourselves 222 coins total that we've got. So, at least that might be something worth to keep in mind for able to save up for some coins or what have you. So, anyways, let's go back into the segment swamp level right here. So, oh wait a second. There we go. Sorry about that. If you don't know about what's going on in that particular familiar Super Mario Bros. Theme tune, that's only because my phone is keep on going off, and I think maybe because of Ray, the flying squirrel, is gonna ask me something, so... That's fine by him. So either way though, yeah, let's just go ahead and climb onto here, and... Oh, the turtle's gonna get freaked out for a moment. Oh, wait a second, this is where we stumbled across the next boss fight. Honestly, this is probably my least favorite boss fight in the whole game. Not just because it's hard or anything, but rather just because it's kind of frustrating to able to actually just try to hit him. So basically, we ended up in the forms of that particular climbing vines of any sorts, which apparently that's what the battle's gonna take place, and I somehow managed to able to get knocked off because, well, there's actually a strong current from the likes of that particular, well, for that particular water current. So, in this case though, we have to start all over again, sadly, but, I don't know if there is actually a key somewhere, but we'll keep trying. So because of that though, and unless there is actually some time to recover, if you manage to screw this up beyond belief. But regardless of such though, this is perhaps one of the trickier boss fights next to the forms of the Wolverine boss. Well, despite the fact that his name was Muddy, as far as what the actual name of this boss's name was. But honestly though, I'm not a big fan of this fight, mainly because it's way too difficult, and also because there was no time to able to recover from that, especially noticeable that I keep on getting myself screwed over, thanks to the forms of there's no time to, like, react to it, for the sake of, like, trying to get back into the actual battle arena. So, yeah, it's definitely one of my least favorite bosses in the game, sadly, just because of the forms of how the fact that it's just pretty darn frustrates me, so... But hopefully we'll try this again for the third time. And the most annoying thing though to me though is this gosh darn tail thing. And as a result though, it just keeps on making me like, just keeps on knocking me out like every single point worth noting for it. And it just frustrates me. So because of that though, and it kind of frustrates me because well, again, it's just a lot of emphasis on trial and error. Oh, here's the forms of that specific weird contraption thing. This what appears to be that Robo-Rat. And if you manage to get caught by him, I'm presuming you would able to get caught, and somehow, yeah, you get caught by him, and chances are, you get kicked out. And, yeah, that pretty much summarizes as such. Oh, something's worth mentioning for us that some of these worlds does sometimes manage to contain two bosses. Well, I think this level might be the prime example to able to actually feature two bosses in one world. Although, mind you, some of these levels do have like one boss fight, but as far as this world is concerned, does manage to able to have, well, this level rather, does have two boss fights, which the one we're doing right now, which it does manage to give me some bit of frustration involved due to the forms of that how stingy the actual, like, the hitbox for that stupid tail was. But aside from that, wow, we'll keep trying as soon as we're able to actually grab the, I think this is the red key route. So, there we go, we at least managed to able to grab that. But, I believe in here, though, especially noticeable that on the very highest point right there, from that, on the right pipe, not the other pipe that I was on about, the other pipe that I was gonna on about, that actually will lead us to the next boss fight. But of course, we do need that specific power-up upgrade in order to able to actually just fight the next boss, so... Alright, let's try this again for the 4th attempt, and hopefully we would succeed by this point. But again, it's just a bit tricky, just because, well, again, it's just a bit frustrating, especially you can't really tell of the actual movements of this guy. And especially it doesn't help about the fact that I swear to Christ, that every time I was gonna hit him from either its body or its head, sometimes I might as well accidentally get hit by his tail. And because of that though, it's definitely to me the most annoying boss fight in the game, especially noticeable that I've almost gonna get myself screwed over. It's even worse on the final phase, just because he keeps on spinning around and all that stuff, likely for 360-degree spin. And as a result though, yeah, screw that boss fight, because I'm not a big fan of it. Can you see why I managed to screw up on this fight several times, whilst unlike in a Warframe boss fight, that I somehow managed to do this on 2 attempts? Like, one time we did screw up, but in the 2nd attempt though, I seem to manage to succeed. Whilst in that particular boss fight, like I just did right there, does manage to give me a lot of struggle, so... yeah, that's as far as I can usually wager. Alright, so now we've actually got ourselves 3 specific materials that we can able to combine those into one, and I believe this will pretty much lead to... the next, levels of any sorts, which I can definitely tell from that volcanoes are erupting, and because of that though, we can now able to experience, not one, but I believe, few levels? Okay, so let's see, so we can able to actually go to the West Crater, and also we can go to the Colossal Hole, okay, and there's just only 2 levels, so, okay. Fine by me, especially noticeable this is still at nighttime after all, so we'll, I don't know which level should we go to next though, because, well, I seemed able to almost lost track of myself. But let's go and do, the West Crater next, because obviously this is a new level we can experience, so... Now, of course, we can't do anything up there at the moment, or over there, so I'm presuming that the Great Chest will be the only option we can do for the sake of this run. So, yeah, that's as far as I can usually just try to explain about that, so... Anyway, so there's nothing in here, so we'll just, ground pound into that particular, little, cracked wall, or that particular ground, whatever you to be more precise with, so... So yeah, that's as far as I can usually try to describe about this. So, in fact, kind of thing about it though is the fact that, usually, relatively speaking, when it comes to other things worth mentioning for, I believe we've only got about, next month until specifically Metroid Dread, along with the forms of Nintendo Switch OLED model that we're able to exist of. So, we're still not exactly sure if we're about to get ourselves our new Nintendo Switch, which is to be more specifically the OLED model. Mainly it's because of how the fact that, well, usually relatively speaking, I think my Nintendo Switch is actually still working to this day. Although despite the fact with a lesser amount of memory, or in this case a lesser battery life. And because of that though, we still have no idea when we're gonna get it or not, but we'll see what happens in the future. Especially it doesn't help about the fact that, yes, unfortunately, much like the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, is that the actual system itself, the Switch OLED model, already sold out, so for pre-orders and everything else alike. So, well, we seem to got ourselves our red key for some reason, which I don't think we can probably deal with the red chest for this particular run, unless if we do need to able to do something like this, so... I mean, let's face it, what's the point of able to doing this anyway? So, anyways, let's get into the forms of the Bullet String Wario. Now, apparently I said that a mistake way back in the forms within the past videos ago, that I accidentally did say, Woolly, or Wool Wario, but it turns out, according to the Wikipedia, that transformationist name is, well, to be more specifically, Bullet String Wario. So I just want to classify that, especially noticeable that I just want to able to classify for the correction of that transformation name. So, oh, there's a silver coin, or the great coin for that matter, but I forgot to grab it because I'm going to focusing on that, well, that great key I need to obtain. So, thankfully it's not too far from that particular great chest. It's just the fact of the matter is though, is that sometimes navigation for the first time can be a bit confusion at times. So, anyways, let's go ahead and climb up, and hopefully we would be able to actually just transform into a Bullet String Warrior again. So that way, we can able to not only bust out these enemies along the way, but also just try to able to actually access this path. And I think we should be all good to go for the sake of the great chest. So, not too shabby for the most part, even though despite the forms of some navigation problems, but still. And this will able to give us a, well, one of those blue eyes. So, that could mean something though, especially noticeable whenever we go back onto one of those longer levels as far as I'm aware, which I'll discuss more about that whenever we get ourselves our second blue eye collectible treasure. And for the time being, let's move on to the Colossal Hole. I think this is easily one of the hugest levels in the game, just because obviously we can able to explore around in the actual hole. There's the returning owl from the likes of Wario Land 2, but we can't access him just yet though, because obviously we do need something first. So, yeah, that pretty much summarized the forms of a lot of things we can able to do with this game. So of course we do need able to become Blimp Wario for a moment, and because of that though we need to get ourselves the Grey Key. Thankfully getting the Grey Key is pretty easy though, we just get out able to make our way higher up, and sometimes it might take a while to able to actually just to go up. Although, kind of think about it, unlike the ones in Wario Land 4, that you can able to actually get the actual ability, like, specifically if you're trying to able to make things a bit faster, that way you can able to actually just to go up for a bit. But I have no words to think about it, so of course we can't do anything in there, so we'll just skip that. And I get the feeling that the great chest might actually be, actually kind of think about it, is the fact that I know it has been 2 days since I actually last touched this game, just because obviously that some toys are already working on, you know, Banjo-Tooie, as I said, so oh, the great chest is over there, so of course we need something for that matter, and I think it could be either be crouch jump technique or flattened Wario, which or flat Wario I should say. Actually kind of thinking about it, I think flat Wario it might be the only option to able to go for that great chest, because, well, that's as far as I can usually try to guessing that specific strategy. So okay, so it's definitely not in that section, but in this section here, so let's see if we can make it. Huzzah, we made it. Okay, so let's just bust out these blocks, and oh no, this is the wrong way, isn't it? Yep, this is the wrong way. Actually, oh shoot. I have nowhere to go. I have nowhere to go. Especially noticeable, it doesn't help about the fact that I'm always having trouble with this level sometimes because of navigation and stuff like that. I kinda wish this game will have a map function sometimes. Oh, I was literally just one level below that. Okay, so I'm pretty sure what I was gonna be doing right there is the fact that I have to be like, well, I don't know about you, just trying to able to ignore the one of those level elevations or something, even though it has been a while since I actually did manage to look up on something on this game, so forgive me if I able to actually botched it. So I think my brain is actually gone a little bit more wowzers or anything else to be more specific, but at least that's sure it might be a little bit more of a huge emphasis on trial and error sometimes. Okay, so we need to ignore that part, but we can go to... No! Wait. Nah, it doesn't work. It really didn't work all that well. Oh, darn it. Okay. Unless there was a potential I could able to actually use the Blimp Wario instead. Will that work? Yes, it will work. Because thankfully I can easily go through here, and there we go. Ah, jeez, few minutes in with this whole entire first run in the Colossal Hole already. That seems ridiculous. But anyways, we got ourselves the second blue eye, and I'm presuming we can now able to actually just to combine these two eyes together for one of those doors we can able to open up. Specifically, remember that familiar door from the likes of Tower of Revival? Well, we can hit back in there right off the bat. So now we can able to do some more things in that place, so even that note we'll hit it down next. So, Of course, this is now nighttime, so... And of course, every time whenever you're revisiting this place, you still need to able to actually lit up the actual fire before you progress, because that fire block is blocking our way. So, yeah, we still need to do that a lot. I mean, a lot of playthroughs of that particular stage, because otherwise, if you manage to able to actually just... you know, replay the level or anything else like this, that it doesn't manage to save the progressioning for, you know, for this beginning portion of the stage. But regardless of such, though, it doesn't bother me too much, though, so at least that's sure it's something. So, anyways, let's head into this door, and hopefully we can do a fire Wario kind of syndrome or something. Like, basically, if we keep on jumping, oh wait a second, we have to do a massive combinations between Fat Wario and even Fire Burning Wario, or perhaps even most notable thing of them all, Zombie transformation. Because obviously, in order to actually, like... Oh, speaking of Zombie Wario, I've somehow managed to transform into Zombie Wario for almost instant. But of course, we can't focusing on that right now, because obviously we need to focusing on Fat Wario transformation first by not accidentally just managed to able to actually just, well, it's kind of hard to predict at that point, but even I know it has been like a couple of days, but you know. So we'll lose some weight, and keep punching that. Oh yeah, we do need to activate that particular switch, by the way, to able to get that red key. So first off, we're able to eat the donut, and jump off, and to smash those donut blocks as much as we can. And, well, it might be possible if I could... Oh, just only one block left. Okay, I might be alright, but... either way, though, let's just turn into a flammable Wario until likely few wall hits or anything else to be more specific. But I highly doubt I won't be able to grab that much treasure chest in this level, though. But, or for the sake of this part, though, but so specifically, you know, every Tuesdays and Thursdays for that matter, then we can definitely expect we can able to do some more stuff in the future. So anyways, let's just duck and try to avoid those zombie-like munches or anything else to be more specific. Although, I think this will be okay. Well, if it's like, depending on the forms of, well, it might be hard to say just because of, well, this is where the music key or the music coin was, so, and sure enough, we'll activate that switch, and that's where the red treasure chest was located. Now we need to head back all the way up again. Seriously, there's gonna be a lot of emphasis on the forms of, like, well, going all the way back to the top syndrome or something like that. So, anyways, let's just avoid those zombies for now on, and focusing on getting the red key without even accidentally eating the donut. So, I did not meant to like that happen, so... but oh well, we'll just try to able to deal with it. So let's just do this, and grab the red key. And I think we should be okay for such. And of course, we still need to able to transform into ourselves. No, I did not mean to go all the way back down there, because that would be unnecessary. Especially noticeable how the fact that it almost wasted my time. But anyway, let's just go ahead and go up there. And let the zombie manage to get me to transform into Zombie Wario. And hopefully we would be able to actually obtain the red chest, pretty much. And get into the actual sunlight, or should I say the bright light on that window. And there we go. Jeez Louise, there's a lot of stuff I can able to deal with on that level, so... I wonder what this treasure does contain. And we got ourselves a garlic, which basically is another power-up. So in this case, from that particular garlic in mind, this meaning about the fact that we can now able to actually just to deal with a much more stronger punch. So in this case though, you can now able to not only dash for those breakable blocks, but you can now actually finally bash those particular hard blocks, and especially noticeable with the forms of trying to deal with enemies a lot more now. And especially noticeable, you can able to do an improvement of rolling. So, yeah, that seems pretty top-notch throughout. And it should make things a little bit more easier until whenever we go back into the bank of the Wild River. And especially noticeable, we're going back into the Colossal Hole. And also, we can head over to this next new level, which is the Sea Turtle Rocks. So, I think I should probably do one more level, and for that, I think we should probably go ahead and head over to, well, it's kind of hard to predict right now, because obviously, let's head over to the bank of the Wild River again, so hopefully we can able to actually just do some more things now. Even for the likes of, like, you know, actually access to those, hidden pathways for specifically the forms of the red chest route. So, thankfully we did manage to find the red chest already from the start, so, hopefully we would be able to find the red key now, so, yeah, we're pretty much gonna do one more level for the sake of this video today, and eventually we're able to do more until likely in the future. No, I did not mean to get caught by that flammable... Okay, whatever. It's not that far from here, I don't think, but anyway. So anyways, let's just enter this door here, and let's see what this room contains. Well, I can tell seemingly for surely, but of course, I don't think there's anything else in here though, although we'll might as well double check just in case, but I highly doubt it will be able to contain anything at all, aside from, yeah, just a music coin, so that's pretty much about it, so... Oh boy, and what if we get into the forms of the music coins guides or anything else to be more specific? That's hopefully we'll try to able to deal with that once we finish the main story first, as I've already said this countless amount of times already. So okay, there's nothing in here, so we'll just continue. Oh, there's great coins, I'll take that. So hopefully I can able to add up to my coins amount until, God knows, if I get frustrated with the actual golf segment again, then it knows what it stands out to be. So, anyways, let's enter this door here, and able to actually just to come across into the red key, so at least we found that. Now let's go and head back over to the exact room where the red chest is. So, and I think it's gonna be on the second segment, so hopefully we'll try to able to find that. Well, I would say the third section, so we'll just, I wasn't expecting if I was gonna get, like, a puff or anything else like that, but we'll try to able to block even, we'll break even more blocks, as you see, but anyway. So anyways, let's go into this door here, and sure enough, we'll head over to the red chest. So there we go. Whew-wee. That was quite simple, but sometimes I might not know every locations throughout, so... Anyways, we got ourselves a magnifying glass, and this will be useful though, because if we manage to able to leave the level, we can now able to actually access to the B button menu. And this will show you every chest you've got, including the actual star icon, which I'll talk more about until next Tuesday. So yeah, join me next time on Let's Play Wario Land 3. And that is the fact that we'll check out these new levels like Sea Turtle Rocks, and eventually going back to the previous levels so we can get even more treasures. So I'll see you guys until next Tuesday. Later, dudes.